I read a couple of newspaper stories recently that mentioned Pokemon Go. Go where? I said. Well, I'll get to that in a minute. Seems there was a 4-car accident caused by some kids running into the traffic. Okay. When asked why they would run into traffic, they explained they were after a Pokemon. And the other story was about the good folks in Rhodes, Australia. Rhodes is a district in central Sydney that has a lovely park called Peg Patterson Park. Here's the issue. Literally hundreds of Pokemon players descended on the park in a frenzied search for Pokemons. The game's designer made the park a Poke Stop, allowing the finding of 3 critters within the safari zone. Now, winter there, so the game players trampled the park into mud pies and were noisy for days on end. Cars were parking in all the no-park places. Now, what kind of frenzy causes this? It's Pokemon Go. Now, what is Pokemon Go? Well, simply put, it is a smartphone game using satellite locations, graphics, and camera capabilities to overlay cartoon monsters on real-world settings, challenging the players to capture and train the creatures to do battle. How long has it been around? Well, actually, not long, like weeks. But in the first week it was available, it generated $14 million profit across the mobile platforms. The folks at Nintendo, where it all started, were ecstatic when they saw their stock price spike upward. So let's go back in time to an earlier period of planet life, say Japan in April of 1989. That's when the world got its first Game Boy. On July 31st of that year, 40,000 Game Boys were sold in the United States on the first day it was available. They have sold gobs of Game Boys since Nintendo first released Pokemon as a role-playing video game in 1996. Now, as of February this year, Nintendo has sold more than 279 million units. The media franchise that manages Pokemon is called the Pokemon Company, which is a consortium amongst Nintendo, Game Freak, and Creatures. It was created by Satoshi Jashira in 1995. The business is centered on fictional creatures called Pokemon, which are caught by trainers and trained to do battle for sport. The company grossed $46.2 billion as of May 2016. This is big business. As time marched on, the videos became card games to keep in trade, Pokemon TV, movies, stage plays, and events like the soon-to-be-held World Pokemon Championships in San Francisco, August 19 through 21st this year. You might want to go. There's $500,000 in prize money. You might ask, why San Francisco? Well, there is a company there called Niantic. Before Niantic, John Hank founded a company called Keyhole in 2010. A software developer, Mr. Hank was working on the precursor to what became Google Earth. Now, Google bought him out and moved him over into Google until October of 2015, when they spun him out at the time that Alphabet was organized. So he and his team are now managing what has become known as Pokemon Go. It was announced after the spin-off that Google, Nintendo, and the Pokemon Company would invest $30 million for development. Now, Pokemon Go has been published and is now a worldwide phenomenon. Thus, the unhappy people in Sydney. If you have played Pokemon in some version, you are aware that there are literally hundreds of characters in the mix, all with names that sound like they look like. There is Hopping Right, Rabbit, Kingler, the crab, Magmortar, that looks like an artillery piece, and on it goes. Now, I watched a YouTube video created by a couple of guys who wanted to train me to play Pokemon Go. They talked about a Pokedex full of critters they captured or traded for, Pokeballs to electronically throw at critter images, habitats that glow on your phone, and of course the poke stops where you can find the little darlings. All told, it was an entirely new vocabulary for me. A one-semester course in the technology of handheld gaming. Now, the folks at Nintendo claim that this game gets you out of the house and rushing around the country to culture spots, parks, and other useful places. You can amass credits to get to the trophy trainer state. Just what I need to fill my days. Actually, they are expecting the young men to grab this one. We have too much leisure time in America. Let's put people back to work and keep them off the ever-increasing unsafe Pokemon streets. Thank you for watching, and God bless.